Welcome to Rabat, Morocco's dazzling capital, with the Atlantic breeze in the air, overlooked by the Hassan Tower and the Grand Theatre. There is quite likely no stage like this anywhere else on the Global Champions Tour. Lose yourself in the ancient Medinas and salute some kings at the Mausoleum of Mohammed. We welcome you to the African continent for the penultimate stage of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And with only 2 Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix golden tickets up for grabs, this provides a golden opportunity for the riders today to cash in on what takes place here in Rabat. We welcome you here to the 15th stage of the season, and no better way to start the show than with the defending champion of Rabat, a man that we are waiting to grab his golden ticket to once again come to the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. Welcome to Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. Eduardo, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much.
Positive memories of Rabat. Talk to me about some memories that come back to you about being here in Morocco.
Well, last year it was a fantastic moment, no? Especially with a horse like Rockefeller and getting the golden ticket at the last stage of the season. It was something brilliant, and also winning with my horse Rocky after such a long partnership. It was something very special.
How has life been now that Rocky has been given some time to retire and be with the family? I want to talk about qualification and how Legend is coming along, but I know that Rocky there was an emotional connection there too. How have you taken to giving him his retirement?
Well, much better for him. He's retired. For me, it's getting a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Until I catch up with some younger horses and they get experience. And okay, I still have Legend that he's doing his job. He's jumping quite good. But missing a horse like Rocky, it's always difficult to replace. And working on that. And now I have a good string of younger horses that are coming up. So I hope soon I can be at the biggest level again.
Let's talk about qualification. It looked smooth. 21st to go today. It's a nice starting place. Give me your thoughts on how the qualifier was for you.
Yeah, okay, I had an unlucky rail very early on the course. I had number 2 down. Actually, the horse jumped really good and he was fighting till the end. It was a tricky course, and it was an expensive fault for us, for Madrid Emotion as a team. We ended 5th, and with 1 rail less, we would have been 2nd. So, at the end, happy to be qualified, but also a little bit thinking on that expensive rail. It's also for the overall as a team, we could still be climbing, especially having one more in Riyadh. So happy with the horse and happy with the result and being today in the Grand Prix.
Are there lessons that you can take out of that qualifier, lessons that you can take out of winning here in 2024? Is there any value in having been here before, jumped here before, that can assist you today?
Well, it's a fantastic venue, fantastic ring, very good warm-up. We have enough place to warm up the horses. It's a completely different setting. It's different horse, different year. So everything is going to be a bit different track. So we need to work out and see. It looks already, we didn't walk, but it looks quite tough, and it's going to be tricky for sure. It was already the last globals and also the qualification.
So having won your golden ticket here last year, which was the final stage of the year, here it's the penultimate stage. You like to leave it late, you like to let the tension grow, you like to let us get anxious and nervous. Is there a repeat for Eduardo Alvarez Aznar here today?
Well, I would love it. I've been trying since the beginning. It's not that I leave it till the end, but it comes when it comes. And we try. And the horse is jumping good. He's in good shape. So I hope today he can give his best.
Because of that, you were at the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix last year. For someone that hasn't been there, someone who hasn't jumped, why is winning that golden ticket so important? Why does today and Riyadh, the only 2 remaining opportunities, become so important? What is it like to compete in that LGCT Super Grand Prix?
Well, it's a fantastic Grand Prix to be only 16, 17 riders on it, so it's something special, and it's not only about the prize money, that also helps, but it's a good place to be.
All All right, Eduardo Alvarez, Aznar, 21st to go today in qualifying. He will come out then later on, just after the break, with legend, the 14-year-old gelding, having won here back in 2024. This is a wonderful hunting ground for Aznar, hoping to try and replicate that success, win once again in Rabat, get his hands on a golden ticket, and once more go on to join us at the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. That takes place in Prague in a couple of weeks' time. But we keep the attention, we keep the focus here on Rabat. We want to find out more about the city, and because of that, we decided to wake Dan Strange up super early, send him out into the town, and give us some perspective on what it feels like to be in and around these incredible monuments. Dan, let's see where he is today.
Mark, you may not know it from where you're sat, but just moments away is some stunning Rabat modern architecture, such as the man-made Sikh Tower, which is over 250 metres tall, and the Zaha Hadid-designed Royal Theatre, or Grand Theatre de Rabat, which was only inaugurated in 2024. This is a city with some real modern gems. But it's the Hassan Tower that really is the central part to Rabat. Built over 800 years ago, at the time, the tallest minaret in the world. And it's this timeless legacy that just hangs in the air over one of the Longines Global Champions Tour's newest venues.
So you saw that final shot there just before the Moroccan flag. That is it. There's a little bit of cloud cover today. It's a little bit misty and foggy ahead, but that's that beautiful Hassan Tower there. Get a really good shot of it now. We're going to let the skies open up. Some wonderful, clearer skies predicted and forecast for later in the afternoon. But that's exactly where it is, the Hassan Tower just behind us, and a few other camera shots you'll see of the Grand Theatre. That's just over the corner here, just by the hospitality, and some beautiful, beautiful monuments, such culture and such color and history. It's one of the many, many reasons that people thoroughly enjoy returning to Rabat as we come back here for stage 15 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. Now, before we continue with what's happening here in Rabat, in Morocco, for the penultimate stage, let's remind you as to what took place in Rome in the previous stage. You talk about culture and color and history and heritage. Well, that took place Cerco Massimo, if you recall. Let's show you what happened in stage 14 of the Longines Global Champions Tour.
Welcome to Rome, to the Circus Maximus for the latest stop on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Monaco for Harry Smulders, charged with trying to win a third Grand Prix for him this season. On his way. As he gallops onto the final fence, has he made up the time? I don't believe it, he has. Just out of nowhere, plucking it out of the air. What can Gilles Thomas do on his fabulous flying machine Callista? Quite as fast. I think Harry is going to be, although it's not going to be too far away as they come to the final fence. Is it going to be inside the time? Oh, my goodness me. It's Michael van der Vleuten on his Beauville ZNOP. Jumps the first fence, gets the move round. Here we go. Real short now, kick on, 34.27 is the time to Pete. Is he going to do it? Coming to it. Has he done it? Oh no! So Harry Smulders is our champion here in Rome.
I'm just telling Juliano he starts to learn how to put the courses so Monaco can win them. I mean, for several years he was always second, and this year he wins 3 already. It's amazing.
What a season this has been for Harry Smulders and for Monaco in particular. A 3-time winner on the Longines Global Champions Tour, moving incredibly high up on the overall championship rankings and already having guaranteed his spot at the upcoming Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. Harry Smulders, without a shadow of a doubt, has been the standout rider of 2025 when it has come to individual performances on the Longines Global Champions Tour. And as far as podiums are concerned, well, yes, we know that he has dominated dominated. But because of the success, because of the consistency, and because of the brilliance, there is only one man who is then above him, quite literally, and that is the champion of 2025. A big storyline to come out of Rome last stage was not just the fact that Harry Smulders wins once more on the LGCT stage, but it was the fact that we have now officially crowned a champion for 2025 as we celebrate the victory of Gilles Thomas. This is what the rankings now look like coming out of Rome, and you will notice that Gilles Thomas is above the rest and highlighted ever so slightly differently, because there is no one that can catch the golden boy. There is no one that can catch Gilles Thomas. Everyone is now fighting for a podium finish, with the title having been wrapped up. Christian Kuckuck is here and has qualified beautifully. He, in fact, will be the last rider to go on Cipano. So expect a good result from Christian Kuckuck. He should climb and arguably move into second place. But let's not forget that Andreas Schou is fighting as well. He too is here and has qualified on Napoli. He will be 24th to go, and there's some big movement to be made from Andreas Schou as well. He has 2 low scores that can be easily improved upon. With Michael van der Vleuten not present here in Rabat, you can imagine that by the end of the afternoon, that Christian Kuckuck and Andreas Schou, with good performances today, could well be sitting in second and third come the end of the afternoon, with just one single stage to come in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia later on this month. But speaking of then those contenders, those championship fighters, those riders that are trying to find themselves on a Longines Global Champions Tour podium, we decided to take some time and sit down with Andreas Schou to talk to him about his ambitions, about his stable, about his firepower, and just what we can expect here in Rabat. Andreas, talk to us about how you're feeling ahead of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rabat.
I'm looking very much forward for tomorrow. Napoli jumped great yesterday. I had one unfortunate fault, but I had a really good feeling. And last year he jumped very well in the Grand Prix, was placed as well. So hope for the best result, yes.
At the moment, top 5 in the Longines Global Champions Tour standings. A few riders in front of you are not present in Rabat, which makes it a good opportunity for you to climb. Talk to me about, in the beginning of the year, what kind of ambitions did you set out for yourself? Was there a thought or a consideration for a top 5, top 3 finish come the end of the season?
Yeah, I believe every rider has that ambition starting the season off because if you do that, you know your season has been good and you won at least also a nice prize money on the way. For sure, it's been my ambition every time I go to make better result, and it's going to be the same for tomorrow. As you say, I have really good feeling for Napoli tomorrow, and my plan is definitely to make one of my results better for the overall standing.
So you compete here in Rabat. You will be in Riyadh in a couple of weeks' time as we go to the GC final in Saudi Arabia. 2 golden opportunities to improve on your lowest scores, which, because they are quite low, it means that there's a huge amount to grow and a huge amount to move up. Can you tell me what you think it will do for your career at this stage if you were to officially finish on a podium at the end of the season on the Longines Global Champions Tour?
Yeah, I really hope that it will happen for us either tomorrow and Riyadh. I mean, like the season Napoli had, I feel that he deserves it because he so many times were so close. He was 4th, 5th and 4th and, you know, just outside the podium. And I feel that it soon will come. Now in Vienna, he had one small mistake, but hopefully the luck is on our side. And yeah, definitely will be very pleased with a podium finish.
Injuries and fitness aside, do you feel that at the moment your stable is arguably one of the most impressive right now? If you think about Billy, you think about Napoli, you have Dr. Lux that's, you know, getting ready now to compete shortly. Do you feel that that's arguably as strong a stable as many top riders can boast about and brag about, having so many top star, 5-star quality horses?
Of course, I have a really good group of horses, but you at this level with so many shows coming up, and you know the season is all the time pushing for more. So we all the time have to balance how much we can use our horses. Now my full focus was on the global tour, and I enjoyed it, and my horses has been great, as you say. But I also have to prioritize, and now after Prague, my season will stop, and then we will take a nice break. So hopefully we can come back strong for next year's season the same way.
Best of luck in the Rabat and for Riyadh still to follow. And let's see where you land up at the end of the season.
Thank you so much.
Is there a Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix golden ticket lying in wait for Andreas Schou here in Rabat? The field is outstanding. He will have his work cut out for him. But if there is an opportunity for him to get his name in the hat, to get his name in the draw, then we will see him at the GC Prague playoffs later on in November. Let's remind you as to what that pot looks like. Let's show you the level of excellence that is currently lined up to compete in that Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. I remind you, it is the champions of the year, the best place finishers throughout the 2025 Longines Global Champions Tour season that earn themselves a spot in this class, the most highly sought over class of the year. Abdel Said winning in Doha on body, as he did back in 2024. Emmanuel Kameli and Yoli Mitlineo will both be on debut in Prague. Scott Brash makes a second appearance. Harry Smulders, take a look at that. The man knows his way around Prague with 4 appearances already. Jérôme Guéry and Gilles Thomas having made 1 appearance as well. But the list doesn't stop there. There are a couple more debuts on the second page as well, which is exciting. We are looking at first-timers experiencing the incredible LGCT Super Grand Prix for the very first time. Quite remarkable that Simon de Lestre, having won in Monaco, will now make his debut in Prague. Christian Kukuk has been there 3 times. Nicola Philipparts twice. And we'll see his younger brother, Thibaut, make his debut. Gerrit Nieberg, Philip Weishaupt, and Michael van der Vleuten with 2 appearances after having secured his LGCT golden ticket in Rome earlier on this year. A sneak peek as to what to expect later on this year at the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix. 7 nationalities represented thus far, and only 2 places remain. 1 here in Rabat and 1 in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as we head off to Riyadh in 2 weeks' time. Those are the spots that are available. Who then is competing for that? We've talked about a wonderful qualification for Christian Kukuk. We've talked about Andreas Schou, but who else is on the list to look out for? Dan Strange, welcome back to the show. Let's talk about the start list. Let's talk about the riders that are dangerous and look really, really good today. Let's talk about rider and horse combinations. Who have you highlighted here in Rabat? Who should we be keeping an eye out for?
It's a very busy start list, Mark. Thank you for welcoming me along. 19 former LGCT Grand Prix winners within the start list. So let's look at the top. Dennis Lynch in 3rd. He came 4th here in Rabat in 2024 last year. Now, Cordial is his first LGCT Grand Prix since Cannes in 2024. The horse has had some time out. Will he go well today? He's jumped well this week. 6th into the arena for Germany, Jana Frederika Meyer-Zimmermann. She had 8 faults in qualifying on Iron Dames, just a dream, but she won a 5-star yesterday and jumped beautifully there, going really, really quickly. Just over my shoulder a moment ago was Anastasia Nielsen, 18th into the arena. She's an unlikely winner, but I wouldn't put a clear round past her on Action Man. Action Man jumped very well on Friday as well. 21st in was the winner, who you spoke to minutes ago here in Rabat, Edu Aznar. Now, Edu, riding legend, as he said in the piece to you, he hasn't quite replaced Rockefeller yet. Still no golden ticket for this year. He's looking for one because he got one last year. 25th in. If we're looking at, Eddie finished 3rd in Shanghai. Talking Shanghai, 25th in is Scott Brash. Scott's won twice this season already on Hello Shadora Lady. He's looking to match what Harry Smulders and Monaco have done this year and win a 3rd LGCT Grand Prix. He is one of 7 riders with a golden ticket here in Rabat who are ready to go to the LGCT Super Grand Prix. In the last 15 riders, 6 have one of those golden tickets. Marcus Eining isn't one of them. He rides Flower Girl. Flower Girl is going really well, but it's only Flower Girl's 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix ever. The horse, though, is in fine form. And don't discount a legend of the sport, a former LGCT champion, Peder Fredriksson. Finished 2nd in Riesenbeck, and Al Capone de Carmel. Well, that horse is just flying over fences at the moment. I caught up earlier on with Marcus Eining, who I mentioned earlier. He rides Flower Girl. Let's hear from Marcus. Marcus, it's a gorgeous day here in Rabat. We're moments away from the LGCT Grand Prix. Confidence high for you today?
Yeah, we feel great here. It's an amazing venue, perfect facilities for the horses. My horse jumped great the first day, so I'm hopeful for today.
There's been a bit of a change of plan for you this week, but Flower Girl made her LGCT debut in New York and jumped brilliantly here on Friday as well. The form of the horse must be a real joy for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same with riders and horses. You are not all the time in the same form. But she showed she can jump it, but now it's up to me to give her the right confidence and the right spots to jump a clear round.
There's only 2 golden tickets to the LGCT Super Grand Prix left. Is that in your mind at all as you're going into the arena or as you prepare, or do you just blank that out of your mind completely?
Yeah, first of all, if you do a 5-star Grand Prix on the LGCT, you always want to win. This is my last chance. I'm not going to Riyadh, so we try our best, but it's still a long way.
Marcus, good luck to you and Flower Girl today.
Thank you very much.
It is a wonderful field. The best 40 riders of the week here in Rabat competing for today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Total prize money over 630,000 euros, and all 40 of these riders are looking to try and get a massive, massive winner's check come the end of the afternoon. Coursewalk is currently underway. We've already heard there from Marcus Zeyning and from Andreas Schou, having Eduardo, Alvarez, Aznar in the show. But this is just some of the shots that you will find yourself. There's Christian Kukuc, Chapano, last to go today, rider number 40, having earned that after being the best qualifier of the week. There goes the man looking to try and secure second place. If you remember, going down to the wire in 2024 alongside the eventual champion Max Kuhne. He's done it again in 2025. The consistency and the horsepower that Christian Kukuc has displayed over the last 2 seasons is, and it cannot be underestimated. This Longines Global Champions Tour is incredibly draining. It requires a huge amount of commitment and a huge amount of attention and a lot of top star horses. That's why you often see title defenses being very difficult to do, because it requires so much of these world-class riders. If you have someone like Christian Kukuc who can repeat it, who can do it in back-to-back seasons, it shows a huge amount of talent, wonderful work taking place behind the scenes as well. We'll get some more reaction from some of the riders as they continue their course walk. Just over my shoulder, Peter Fredriksson as well, with the traditional notebook. And isn't that a wonderful way to always identify Peter Fredriksson in any course walk? Very often stuck in the zone. And here's a man that likes to have a note and pen, who quite literally makes numbers, marks them down. He's going to walk right behind us. In fact, right now, Peter Fredriksson about to enter the shot. And you'll see him coming over my shoulder now, because there he goes. There's Peter Fredriksson now taking this line, walking up to 11, just in front of the Hassan Tower. Remarkable how he gets into that zone for the course walk. Speaking of the fences, speaking of what these riders need to deal with here today from Uliana Vizzani, we asked Dan Strange to take a closer look at what we can expect from the fences that we find inside the ring today.
This is really special access. We've come behind the scenes. We've been given permission to come and have a look at some of these amazing fences. They were chosen specifically by the president of the Moroccan Association, Moulay Abdellah, and they really all have loads of meaning behind every single fence here in Rabat. And this is the logo of the federation, founded in 1958 and proudly based right here in Rabat. There's so much going on here, there's so much to look at. This Zalige wall, look at the intricacy of what could make up the most stunning fence in the LGCT Grand Prix. But then if I just jump up here, you've got a doorway, a port to a castle, and what's known as a cella in Morocco, or a turret for that castle to be pieced together. These could be the most stunning jumps that we've seen in a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix this season. Moroccan creativity at its finest. So we spoke about Zalige moments ago. The colours on the previous one meant things like purity and peace. You'll see these ones are black and white. That's because they're earlier Zalige. It's from an earlier stage in Morocco's history. This fence is all about protection. It's the hand of Fatima. 5 fingers on an open palm. It comes from the Arabic term Hamza, which means 5. And this is believed to ward off both evil spirits and offer protection The riders today in the LGCT Grand Prix will be hoping it protects them from poles falling to the floor. Moroccan doors aren't just any old doors, they're known as barb, which are a status or a wealth symbol of the families behind them. They've got some great features too, because if you don't know the person knocking at your door, if you check their shoes and that's okay, you can look them in the eye, check you recognise them and then welcome them into your home. This is a venue, this is a show which is all about rich cultural history. The fanous, a traditional Moroccan lantern integrated within the fences that we'll see today. Then moving on to the Zalige, which is, as you can see, a fountain, very decorative. It's not a mosaic, this is tiles. Okay, it's all about ornate, creative, artisan craftsmanship. And then onto the Kalusha, which are vases. Now these were actually used to store meat. They were used to store milk and other products deep within the vase, and that's why it's structured in the way that it is, to retain as much moisture as they possibly can. And it wouldn't be Morocco without Moroccan rugs, traditional artisan craftsmanship, and these ones are off to the arena.
That needs to be one of the most in-depth fence pieces I have ever seen. That's fantastic work from Dan Strange. Thank you very much. Taking us behind the scenes, taking us quite literally behind the curtain and looking at the array of fences that are available or at the disposal of Uliana Vidzani for today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rabat, the 15th and penultimate stage of the 2025 season. Coursewalk slowly starting to wrap up as I move slightly out of shot here. Again, Christian Kuckuck having a word with Markus Eining. Isn't that an interesting conversation between the two Germans? A couple of riders still in the ring as well. Philipp Weishout right down in the back. Right down in the back, having a word with Uliana Vidzani as well. So the riders all taking different approaches here on how best to cope and deal with this upcoming LGCT Grand Prix. I remind you that there are only 2 Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix golden tickets that remain here and in Riyadh. So to stress the urgency, to stress the importance of today's LGCT Grand Prix, it cannot be done enough. Let's get some thoughts and some reaction then from some other riders that have walked the course. Thibaut Philipparts, who will be going to the GC Prague playoffs later on in November, has already picked up his golden ticket. Let's hear from the young Belgian.
Thanks, Mark. We're in the arena. I've got Thibaut Philipparts, who's already won a 5-star here today. Thibaut, let's quickly talk about just some of the difficult lines. We're actually stood right by this wall at fence 2. Now, this is Zalige. That's the tiles that it's made from. What do you think of the wall, and where's the most difficult elements of the course?
Yeah, the wall comes quite fast today already. Number 2 by the in gate. It's quite skinny, so the horse really have to focus and jump in the middle. It's quite big enough to start as well. After you have the line here, so ox out of the corner will be a difficult vertical combinations. Try to come as slow as possible and jump the vertical then the oxer. It's a big effort. In general, it's a big Liverpool vertical there. It's a big course today. It's technical, so we'll have to make a good plan.
And they're really, especially at the back end of the course as well, there are some real options in terms of stride length. Simon Delestre was saying about a long 8 that then potentially leads to a 5 stride line. Is that correct?
Yeah, I myself have quite a big stride today. So for me, I think the 8 will be quite normal, but I think this will be an option for also other riders with a smaller stride who can do the 9, because the option is there to go a bit outside, and then it's a bit easier for the 5.
Let's just move across really quickly to fence 10. I just want to show Thibaut some of the creativity that Uliana Vidzani has been able to play with today. These are traditional Moroccan lanterns that they've made the fence from, but this is a really big, difficult oxer.
Yeah, it's I think maybe one of the jokers from the class today. It comes after a difficult big triple combination. It's very short distance here. You can see it's very skinny as well, narrow, only 3 poles. So yeah, we'll have to create something on this jump. Confident today? I know every class is a new class, so I'll do my best.
You've already got your golden ticket, so you can relax a little bit on that, but I know you won't. Good luck, Thibaut. Thank you so much for your time. Mark, back over to you in the studio.
The thoughts of Thibaut Philipparts having a word with Dan Strange as we get closer and closer to the start time of today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rabat. The 40 best riders of the weekend, all competing for a massive prize money of 634,000 euros, as well as an opportunity to win themselves a golden ticket and get to the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix in Prague later on this year. Now, I believe some more reaction. We spoke about Philipp Weishout now once again alongside Dan. Let's get some thoughts from the man who won in Vienna a couple of stages ago. Dan.
He did indeed win in Vienna. Philipp, has your mentality changed since the win this season? Has it taken a bit of the pressure cooker off you?
Yeah, I mean, the win is always feeling good. It's always a confidence booster, especially I didn't have a great run till Vienna. So actually, I did just say earlier to Christian, I feel like I'm riding a little better now and a little bit more released, and everything goes a bit easier, and even the other horses are somehow jumping better now. So yeah, it was a bit of a booster, yeah.
Talking the other horses, you rode Kilmister to win there, you ride Oreo today. How will this course at Uliano Vetsani set out? It's a big old course, as it always is in LGCT Grand Prix. How will that suit you and Oreo?
He's in good shape. Hopefully I'm in good shape, but it's a big task today. It's very big, it's very technical, it's big jumps. I know the GCT Grand Prix are always big, but this one is a tough one.
Where's the particular challenges on the course, particular lines?
The whole course is a little tricky, and towards the end the horses are getting a bit tired. It's a very tricky line, a lot of half distance. You can either do the 7 or the 8 or the 6 or the 7 or the 8 or the 9. So a lot of question. You have to have a good plan with your horse, and then it's okay, but you can get very quick distracted. Is
it going to be like London buses? You wait a long time for a win and then two come along at once for you today?
Sounds good.
Philipp, so many thanks for your time. Mark, back over to you. It's really been a tense course walk here. It's really exciting ahead of the LGCT Grand Prix here in Rabat.
Thank you very much, Dan Strange. Thank you, Philipp Weishout. Can he make it 2 in the season? Well, it certainly would be a season of repeats, wouldn't it? After seeing Scott Brash win multiple times this season, having seen Harry Smolders win multiple times, it perhaps might not be a surprise if Philipp Weishout or perhaps another previous winner this year were to go on and double up by the end of the afternoon. We will find out in a couple of hours' time. The penultimate stage of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Rabat. Let's get things started, shall we?
Welcome along to the capital of Morocco. Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Rabat. We are set for this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. We are on the banks of the River Bogarev, and it is a fabulous place to be. This amazing city that brings together the fabulous culture and history with some super modern additions in the form of the architecture that surrounds this tremendous arena that sees us return for the second edition, the second year in a row that we've been welcomed with open arms once again back here to Rabat. And the weather on our side, a little bit of a breeze, hopefully no rain, but it's certainly warm. Really good conditions for what is to come this afternoon. And it is a key afternoon in sport. Round 15, the penultimate round of the Longines Global Champions Tour Series. And of course, so much still to play for with these 2 rounds still to go. Last year, the winner was Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. Of course, the fabulous Rockefeller, proving that age is but a number in this arena to come out on top. And Edu back again this year to try and defend that title. Of course, just a week ago, Gilles Thomas took the title. He won the series of 2025 on the LGCT. Uncatchable. What a year it has been for the young man from Belgium. But below him, there is plenty to play for. When you consider we still have Christian Kukuk here today, Andreas Schou, Simon Deleuze, Scott Brash and Natalie Dean, all of who are in the top 10 and are looking to try and find their way as high up as possible to the finish. In fact, Scott Brash sat there in ninth as well, of course, looking for what could possibly be his third win of the season. He has that winning ride in the form of Hello Shadora Lady, looking to make it a hat-trick. But there are plenty of talented stars. In fact, all three of the riders that finished on the podium here 12 months ago are back, because not only is Edu here, Malin is here, and Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zinnemann. The crowds have been amazing, whether they have been here for the Grand Prix today or over the course of yesterday. We've seen so many people pouring in, and it's a fabulous feeling around the showground, and that focus very soon will very much centre on this arena and, of course, the track that has been laid out by Giuliano Versani. The Italian maestro sets this course, and I think in simple words, a three-letter word describes it. It's big. It's technical, but it's big. Listening to the riders, it should be as well. The prize money today is an unbelievable €634,000. One of the big prizes of the year, starting off over that year of culture fence. Coming round on that curve, back past the in-gate, keeping the concentration, but you come to this really beautiful wall, very solid, very tall, and then on to what is a 150, 160 wide fence 3. They're going to need to consider the time. We'll give you that in a moment, but that time allowed will inevitably play a part. It's quite a big, long, open run coming round into this key line. 6 strides from fence 4 down to the double in front of the hospitality. You arrive at this 1.60 m upright. Got to be a little bit slow and careful coming in. You're going to need the power coming out, because not only is it 153 high, it is 1.60 m wide, 8.20 m between the fences. Again, a big wide open turn. This arena certainly allowing Giuliano the space and giving the horses and riders the time, but they just can't take too much of it. Coming back to the water tray at the Hassan Tower, of course, and then on to fence 7, again a very wide parallel. The LGCT fence ending at number 8, and then this turn, which is going to be interesting because it is that little bit more acute, making sure they can balance their horses off the corner to set them up for what is always one of the most fascinating parts of any track, the Longines combination. Today, going with the parallel coming in, 2 strides to 2 uprights, 1 stride between them, both standing at an absolute maximum of 1.60 m. But it's not over yet, because then you continue the line down to the lanterns. These beautiful, what are actually blue poles when you see it. They look gorgeous, but it's a relatively short 5 strides down to, again, what is a very tall, very wide fence. Of course, making sure you keep the horses concentrated with that in-gate just to the left. We continue on into what is then the final line, and this is where the choices come into the mix, because it could be 8, could be 9, depends if you go in or out, long stride or short stride, and again into the final line, decisions to be made as you come all the way through to that final fence at number 13. It is a total of 16 different jumping efforts. Giuliano Versani certainly asking plenty of questions of the 40 starters that come forward in this LGCT Grand Prix here in Rabat. That is the peak of one of the tallest buildings, if not tallest buildings, in the whole of Africa, that fabulous Mohammed VI Tower. Here is the fabulous start list, and it starts with Morocco's Abdeslam Smears, and then we continue. Dennis Lynch, of course, finished 4th just off the podium here last year, and Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zinnemann was on the podium 12 months ago. 2 for Great Britain come in a row. Jack Whittaker with his lovely ride, Jack, that was 4th not that long ago in Riesenbeck. Emily Conter, she's jumped clear already this year on Portobello. Christian Ullmann would love to pick up a golden ticket today. He's still missing from that lineup in Prague. But as you continue down the line, you'll see the likes of Philippe Rosier today jumping in his last outdoor 5-star event, the French star. Andreas Schou's got a tremendous record this season. Scott Brash, even more so, with his 2 wins already on Hello Shadora Lady. Philip Whiteout looking perhaps to make it 2 for the year. He's already just taken the win not long ago in Vienna, and I'm sure the likes of Peter de Vos and Marcus Henning would be very joyful to join the winners' rostrum once again. Sweden strung towards the back end as well, but that last man to go, Christian Kukuk, with Stefano Balobé. Of course, Christian also looking for his second win of the year after that tremendous win in London on Checker. He may well have a golden ticket, but he is out to try and push his way ahead of Harry in the overall standings and try and rise up to second place in the Longines Global Champions Tour Series. There will be one more round to go to decide that. That comes in a week or so in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But the focus today, very much here in Rabat. And what a field that makes up. Overall, 16 different riders, counting for 62 wins in the history of the LGCT Tour. 5 championships between them. The best of the best, once more, are here in Rabat. And the support for the Moroccan riders is very much here today, as you would have anticipated. And great to see those of them that have qualified through. Morocco, the first of 19 different nations, take over the 40 riders that come forward in this class. And it is Alvarez and Benishmaz that's going to kick things off. And he arrives here actually in pretty good form. His, of course, tour of events that have taken part here in Morocco in recent weeks and months saw this combination winning the recent Grand Prix in Tétouan. Set themselves up beautifully for this highlight of the year in Morocco's show jumping calendar, a country that really does feel very passionate about this amazing sport. And it is Mr. D'Eclipse, the 13-year-old stallion by Diamant de Semeni, that is going to go first. Gives us a little bit of an idea as to how this course is going to ride. The key number to give you now is 82. 82 seconds is the time allowed on this course. We are in for a cracking afternoon. But how does this course begin to work out? It is a big technical test. And already, sadly, having the most difficult of starts. Looping back round to this line in front of the hospitality, the VIP area. 6 strides, nice and comfortable. But again, you certainly need a lot of power. There are no narrow fences. Now setting up for the combination. Oh, he wrote that brilliantly. Well, the 5 to the finish, crosses the line in 79.33, so comfortable with the clock, but it is 3 down and a total of 12 for the first to go in Rabat's LGCT Grand Prix. Abdelasim Benishmaz for our hosts here, the Moroccan.
The first of 3 local Moroccan riders to go in today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. There will be no jump off there, but still a very handsome field of Moroccan riders to try and get themselves into today's jump off. Petronella Anderson is next, Enes Lynch, Ines Jolie, former LGCT Grand Prix winners to come. If you want to join us for the rest of today's event, for the rest of today's class here at the Longines Global Champions Tour, sign up for that GCTV Live Pass and come join us for the 15th and penultimate stage of the 2025 season.